Hello and welcome to this episode of For Your Journey. Earlier in 2025, a chief apostle was in Cúcuta, Colombia, and held a service. And just wanted to provide an opportunity for District Apostle Schnabel to share any impressions from that service and highlights things that we really should maybe understand and perhaps see a new perspective or a new emphasis on. So anything from that Cúcuta service. It was based on Daniel 3, 28, the wonderful story I remember from Sunday school, but the fiery furnace was always a fun, very visual lesson.
Interesting that the chief apostle actually picked this. It was quite intentional. He knew that we would be in Cúcuta, which, by the way, we do have a congregation in Cúcuta, but it's a small one. I mean, I think there may be 50 members there. I held a service there once, but it's right on the border with Venezuela. And of course, we can't get into Venezuela. At least, well, maybe I could get in. I said whether I can get out. And so we said to the chief apostle, it would be very nice if we could get as close to Venezuela as possible. And so, yes, they journeyed, some of them as many as 50 hours across the whole country. They all came by bus. It was kind of you could think back to the days when we used to go up to Kitchener, Canada on a bus as young people. And so here and 1,300 of our brothers and sisters came across. And there they are. And we didn't have a location big enough, so we had to get one of these big hangar tents. So enough for all of them in the heat of Cúcuta. And here the chief apostle knows about our brothers and sisters, how many have left the country, how many of them are in difficult circumstances, and he wanted to serve them specifically. And then he picks this out of Daniel 3. And it was a marvelous moment where I think he was deeply moved, and our people were on the edge of their seat. And for me in this particular service, there's a lot of aspects to it, but the one thing that I thought was interesting was how the Lord did not prevent these three men to go into the fiery furnace. In the end, even the ones who threw him in or made the furnace even hotter, I think they said it was 7 times hotter, and they all perished. But the Lord didn't strike them down with blindness. He didn't have an earthquake that swallowed them up. All the things that we know that God had done even in the Old Testament, here he did not do that. He had them thrown in. And then, of course, to the surprise of Nebuchadnezzar, he looks in and he says, and there's a fourth one. Didn't we throw in 3? And it's funny how Nebuchadnezzar says it, and he is like unto the Son of God. This is an amazing, just I don't know what that fourth image must have come across to him that he would have had that reaction, but that's exactly what he is. And we have a God that doesn't stop us from temptation. We know we suffer as God's children. We get thrown into the fiery furnace. And sometimes we even get thrown into the fiery furnace because of our faith or despite our faith. We have such a wonderful God, though. Although he doesn't prevent that, he goes in himself. And that's the picture of Jesus Christ on the cross, right? He is the one who on the cross literally went into the furnace for us. And quite individually and quite intentionally, he's with us. So even in the moment where we think it can't get any worse, God is there with you. And that is the nature of God. God does not ask us to suffer alone. He suffers with us. And think about it. Whenever we're suffering, God is also suffering. Mm-hmm. That's the ultimate message. But he's working that when we come out, as it said for those men, they didn't even smell smoke. They didn't have anything. None of their hair was the little hair I can point to, by the way. nothing was touched. It was an amazing thing. And one day God will bring us into the kingdom. And that's exactly how it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be unscarred, unmarred.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I thought just a tremendous message for our people and really for our district, and a story that we all should read.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not necessarily a story of, I mean, I guess it could be a little bit about endurance necessarily. It's really about God is with us, whether we're enduring a long or a little time. But in addition to God being with us in our suffering, sometimes the suffering could reveal itself in perhaps uncertainty. I don't know. Like my fiery furnace is just the confusion of uncertainty, and I don't know what to do, or there's too many options. We did some surveys with young adults recently, and that was one of their things that had emerged, is like just the overwhelm of information, and there's so many choices around. Like there's uncertainty, and yes, God is with us in the suffering. He's with us in the furnace, but also in His omnipotence and omnipresence and being above time and space and being so eternal. He's already in the future. Like He's already there. He knows whatever decision could be made. He knows every possible outcome, and He's almost beckoning us to Him even further. He's with us now in the suffering, and if that suffering reveals its way as uncertainty, and I don't know, He's on the other side of any decision we could ever make.
The key was there, right? They knew who they were, right? They not, they've helped the Nebuchadnezzar. They were some of his top eights.
Mm-hmm.
But when push came to shove, and literally the king was saying, you have to now make a choice. It's me or my statue versus your God. No, we're Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
We're here to help you. God has put us here, and we'll do whatever we can to support you, King. But that's the one place we will not go. And if we will experience God's help in our furnace if we keep our identity
Mm-hmm.
and don't yield it to anyone.
Yeah. No, they were rooted. They were very convicted in that. So nice lesson to be learned there. So, thank you for sharing your impressions there, and the reminder that God is with us in the furnace, whatever the suffering may be. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for joining us on this episode. If you want to watch that Chief Apostle service, it's available in the link in the description below. You can watch the sermon from the Chief Apostle from Cúcuta, Colombia. And this has been For Your Journey.